Hi guys, welcome back to my weekly update. This is week 9. Yeah, week 9 of my Mounjaro Mondays. Well, actually, it is week 9 of my Mounjaro Monday, my Mounjaro journey. My journey, that is it. But it is not on a Monday. Today is actually Friday, October 31. Now, I needed to come to you today because of the recent developments that have happened within my country. I know I keep saying my country, and I know, as I said, based on my accent, I think a lot of you probably figure out where I'm from. I'm from Jamaica, and for those of you who are new here, I'm Shelly, and for those of you who are not so new, welcome back. Thank you for joining my journey to Mounjaro, and just to give you some ideas and guidance and just keep us talking about what is happening within our GLP community and more so what is happening in my own personal journey with a GLP-1. Now, my last episode, my last video, I spoke about the chaos and consistency of being, on a GLP-1 in crisis. And my crisis was, of course, Hurricane Melissa. Now, one of the things that I recall mentioning in that video was that oftentimes hurricanes or periods of environmental disasters like a hurricane will find you stocking up on food, and in most cases your comfort food, and that is one of the things that is so inconsistent with a GLP-1, because as you can imagine by now, a GLP-1 treatment significantly suppresses your appetite, but you still don't want to leave yourself out there without food because of the possibility of a food shortage that may happen in the aftermath of a hurricane or any other natural disaster, as the case may be. So you can imagine, when I started my week 9 last week, I was stacking up on sugar-free chocolate, sugar-free drinks, in some instances bread, because like bread is the staple of hurricane. Yes, if you know, you know. And all of that jazz. But this was all happening while I was on my job. And of course the concern was there as to what's gonna happen. My satiety is, as I said, it's waning, and at the same time I didn't have access to my doctor's office to go get my weekly jab. So while it was leaving my system, I was looking in the fridge going, oh my God, the bread is calling, the food noise are coming back, the sugar call is there, the sugar crave is there, and I didn't have the tool to assist me. But that's the beautiful thing about being on Mounjaro and being on it for the time that I have been on it for, because like most persons have said, it's not a cape. It's not a cape, it's a tool. And like any other tool that you have, it helps you to complete the job and complete the job in its entirety and successfully. So while a lot of persons will tell you, oh, you guys took the easy way out, you're using a weight loss medication and you're not doing the job. Listen, there's a holy power going over here, regardless of how you may think we are doing this in this community. Because the job don't last forever. And you have to train your brain and train your gut to be able to manage the periods when your satiety is weakening. And that was one of the mentionables from last week, where, oh, not last week, whoa, it's still this week. Yeah, the hurricane actually left us on Tuesday. Yeah, so it's still this week. So one of the mentionables is that I developed the tool, the skills, using the tool to get me through. And I did not hear, I heard the food noise, meaning the food was calling, but I think I've developed the skill to can manage the noise fasting enough to allow my stomach to do its natural emptying without the medication, so to speak, because as I told you, I normally take my medication on a Monday, and because of the hurricane, we were locked in from the Friday of the previous week. So you can imagine I was actually operating with little to no magic juice in my body. And that just goes to show you guys, when people say, oh, you guys took the easy way out, it isn't the easy way out. Because at some point in time, you actually do feel like you need to go and pull on those skills and pull on those knowledge and pull on all those things that you have learned being on the GLP-1. So what is this week update about, guys? It's about the aftermath. I just gave it that context so that you know where we are at in the same week, right? So you can imagine I did not get my job because of the hurricane, and I'm now looking in the aftermath of Hurricane Melissa and trying now to bring you up to speed as to where I'm at with my treatment, my weight loss, my feelings, my side effects, if any, and all of that. So the aftermath of Melissa and Mounjaro started off, as I said, I did not have a Mounjaro Monday because we were locked in under hurricane watch from the Friday. So I went Friday, Saturday, Sunday with my satiety waning. And then on Monday, we were in the thrust of the hurricane. And I normally do my shot at my doctor's office on the Monday. So by the Monday, I had to now start to pulling all the strategies and all the tools and all the things that my brain and my gut used to do on the medication. I had to be doing it for myself, and successfully I managed to do so. Amen, hallelujah. So didn't have a Mounjaro Monday, didn't have a jab on the Tuesday, certainly didn't have it on the Wednesday, because between the loss of light and internet and persons slowly returning back to normalcy to work and doctor's office slowly opening and all these things, all of those things took me all the way to Thursday. And it was on Thursday, which was yesterday in the afternoon, that I got my jab. So this is going to be not a Mounjaro Monday, but a trizepatide Thursday, because she didn't get anything Monday and she had to take the juke on the Thursday, the trizepatide Thursday juke. So I took my jab yesterday on the 30th of October 2025 at about, say, 3:30 thereabout. As I said, immediately I felt it coursing through my veins as it normally does, and you get that feeling of I can now go on without food. And again, being the responsible adult that we all should be, you have to remind yourself that you can't exist without food. You have to go and get something to eat. And I did the responsible thing. I had myself a lot of protein. I actually had protein and water. That was it. I had a chicken breast, very spicy chicken breast, and another part of the chicken. I don't remember what it was, but it was a lot of protein that I had. Oh, and I had a corn. Yeah. A boiled corn. And I had a lot. So I had like maybe two 2-liter bottles of water. And that was how I spent my jab, my trizepatide Thursday with my jab. What are some of the mentionable notices? My satiety was still under control, guys. This is the beautiful thing about going through this journey and doing it the right way. At some point in time, your body starts to adapt to this new way of eating, this new way of thinking, this new way of managing your blood sugar, this new way of managing your obesity, this new way of seeing food and not responding to food in the same way. As I said, it's not a cape. It doesn't give you superpower. Certainly it doesn't. You don't get the job and then you turn into Wonder Woman or Superman. It's not that kind of a treatment. It changes how you process food or how you think about engaging in your relationship with food. And after a certain time being on it, you would notice that your thinking about it has changed. So my satiety was under control despite the delay in taking my Monday jab. A lot of persons would say that it's in your system and that's why you can, but no, I actually heard the food noises, I heard the cravings, I did all of that same way, but I responded differently, and that is what happened. The sad part about this week was that despite behaving myself, I lost absolutely no weight. So I am exactly where I was last week, 179, 180. I'm tethering between 179 and I was so glad when I was at 179 point something, and it was like second it was on the scale for. I couldn't even take a shot of it because by the time I reached for the camera to, to take the shot, to capture the moment that I left the 180s, it just gone and it never come back. Me step on the scale, me step on the scale, me step on the scale, and it just never come back, right? So I lost no weight despite the satiety, the not wanting to eat. I also did not have a lot of water intake, which may account for the no weight that I saw or the stall, because remember guys, it is important for you to hydrate and to take in your water. So that may be one of the reasons why I did not see any weight loss this week, albeit I'm not too worried, because when weight loss comes, it comes sometime all 7 pounds, 6 pounds, 5 pounds, so it builds. And there are also non-scale victories that you can't really step on the scale and expect it to win all the time. Sometimes it's just not in that kind of a way that you're winning. Sometimes you're winning because you're seeing your face slimming down, or you're looking at your neck and you're going, oh, my neck don't look so broad, or you're starting to see your collarbones, whatever it is. Guys, I want to remind you, albeit me I lose the little weight, I'm very happy about that. I didn't do this for weight loss. Let's be clear on that. I am a diabetic, and I started this journey to control my diabetic status, my A1C and my hemoglobin. That was the reason for starting this. I need to remind you guys of that, and that is why I'm on Mounjaro and not Zepbound, because Zepbound is FDA approved for weight loss only. Mounjaro is for both diabetes and potentially weight loss, obesity that comes along. So just remind us. So while I may speak mainly or mostly about weight loss, I need to do something that can allow you guys to see that my A1C is also under control as well. The difficulty in that though is that I don't like to prick myself to show you the reading on my machine, and that is why I mostly speak about the scale, because that's an easier way to show you a changing number than the changing number with my blood. Seriously, she don't like blood at all, and that's why she go to the doctor, because the doctor juke me and me no see no blood. Me no know when it juke come. Me just take the juke and just go me yard. But yeah. Right, so I didn't do much water intake this week, and that may be because it wasn't hot. I remember I always say on this particular drug, you have to remind yourself to eat and drink. It's that perfect a drug, if the perfect is the word I have to use, because I can't find any other. But you really don't feel to eat, you really don't feel to drink, and you have to be responsible and remind yourself to eat and drink. So because we had a hurricane, I wasn't hot, I wasn't feeling the desire to get hydrated, so my water intake this week was less than desired. So, and as I tell you, if you're not taking your water, you're not taking your protein and your fiber, you may not experience the 1 to 2 pounds weight loss that you need to get per week in order to ensure that you're not reducing your muscle mass. I didn't do that this week because it wasn't hot enough for me to be conscious of the fact that I wanted to eat drink. I am just also going to say that I got my mochi delivery of my compound tirzepatide to my address overseas, and I will be flying up very soon to collect them. So I'll be bringing you the unboxing of that in my next episode. Well, let me not say that, because I may have something to tell you between then and then. But I will be doing an unboxing for you on the compounded version. And remember, compounding versions of the drug is the same main ingredient, tirzepatide, and they compound it with something else to help you in your journey. And because the compounding pharmacists don't want to go into a legal battle with the developers of the genuine version of the drug, they add something to it to make it different, so that they can stay as far away from the patent issue and intellectual property rights issue that arise when it comes to Eli Lilly or Novo Nordisk, the manufacturers of of both semaglutide and trizepatide. So I will be bringing that to you in short order in regards to what the compound version of the drug looks like, unboxing it for you, going through at least a month. I'll be breaking from the branded version Mounjaro for about a month because as I said, this is an experiment for me to see how I will be able to deal with a compounded version in the interest of my pocket. It will not be a Mounjaro video without telling you that this thing not cheap. People, it's not cheap and it's not covered by insurance. It's not cheap. So for that purpose, I'm exploring other, avenues, other options of maintaining this GLP-1 without having to break my pocket in my treatment. And that's why I've decided to go the route of a compounding pharmacy. And I told you who I used for that. I did mention that I used Mochi, and they have been very good on my first review. You can go back and watch that. Yeah, so I will be giving you the review of the unboxing and everything else that comes with that, in addition to my maybe week 1, week 2, week 3, and week 4 of my first vial. That being said, having looked at the things that happened this week to me personally, let us go into the space of what is happening with our GLP-1s, our GLP community, and all the legal things that have been coming out, just about everything that's been happening. Key developments with Eli Lilly and the GLP-1 weight loss space. So recently, there has been a sales surge and market dominance from the Lilly reporting. And what they have reported is that they have experienced their strongest quarter, which is Q3 of 2025, and particularly so with their diabetic drug Mounjaro, which they have stated pulled in some US $6.5 billion, which is significantly above their expectation. Now, Zepbound, which is also their brand, but for obesity, also achieved a $3.59 billion in sales, and it is very much holding up for prescription in weight loss for GLP-1s. So combined, both of these drugs, Mounjaro for diabetic control and Zepbound for weight loss control, gave a combined sales surge and market dominance in excess of almost 10 billion US dollars. Guys, do you see what these drugs are doing to the pockets of these pharmacies and developers? Now, that has to do with the sales and marketing dominance. But let us look at access and distribution moves that have been taking place within the space. So, also recently, Eli Lilly announced that they have a partnership with Walmart. Can't imagine what that's going to look like. When I go over there, I'll video that and let you guys see. So they have announced that they have a partnership with Walmart to facilitate the pickup of Zepbound, which is the weight loss prescription, via Walmart pharmacies and Lilly Direct to consumer channel. And this is aimed at paying cash without insurance coverage. So of course, you have to pay your cash. There's no insurance there. And they have stated that the move is part of Lilly's strategy to sidestep any bottlenecking that may happen, in the GLP-1 space. Now that we have looked at access and distribution moves that are being made, let us look at the legal and competitive issues that have recently arose. Now, Lilly recently, it's fighting against compounding versions of the GLP-1. Hello, I just spoke about the move towards compounding, and Lilly is actively fighting against compounding versions of its GLP-1 drug. They have filed quite a lot of lawsuits against a number of compounding pharmacies, and what we have seen as a result of that is that investors are watching the pricing pressures that are happening in order to determine what's happening, there. and where they should put their investments, whether to compound or to remain with the Lilly distributors of the genuine drug. But what does all of this mean for us in this community? I made some notes, um, you know, and simply that if you're taking or researching a GLP-1 drug, you have access now more than we did maybe a year or 2 years ago when there was a shortage. You can do an easy pickup at Walmart, maintaining the pricings that they have. You may also see price dynamics and shifts happening because of the cheaper alternatives that are coming out in the compounding space, as well as, a lot of legal issues that may arise because of some of the unapproved compounding pharmacies. Certainly, there is the ever obvious dominance of Eli Lilly in the space, that gives me confidence that they do have brand reliability and supply security for the medications. And I'm always about that, guys. Even though I am moving towards the compounding versions, I have done my research and I have chosen one that is well known within the space. I've gotten reviews on them, and I think I am very close to the security of it, the integrity of it, and the brand reliability of it. I mean, there were some hiccups, but they're coming up as a very strong contender. So we want to make sure that you're doing your research and making sure that you understand what these news headlines mean for us in this community, for those of us who are considering a GLP-1, because of course with heightened competition, there's going to be regulatory focuses, there are going to be quality and authenticity issues that may arise, and it may impact whether you compound or not to compound. I'm going to do something on that, to compound or not to compound. I'm going to do something on that because I'm going to be compounding soon. Right. So, all in all, that's the update in the space. What's happening with our GLP-1 manufacturers and our big farmers, and also my weekly update on my progress. As I said, guys, I'm tethering 179, 180. I certainly thought I would have cleared the 180s by now. But it's a race not for the swift, but for those who can endure. Yeah, I'm gonna endure, guys. So, thank you once again for joining yet another week of my Mounjaro journey. As I said, it's not a Mounjaro Monday. It is more like a trizepatide Thursday, or one of those things, or certainly, Mounjaro Friday because it's Friday. But thank you for joining. That was my update. I will see you on the other side of next week when I venture into week 10. Guys, 10 weeks. 10 weeks and 30 pounds, 31 pounds down, almost 31 pounds down. Guys, this is awesome. Another 10 weeks and I would be near to some goal of mine. As I said, I don't have a number in my head. It's just what works and how my body feels in the entire process of it all. But you'll be here for the journey, so you'll see. Thanks again. Take care. Until I see you on the next one. Bye.